Hi Gems, happy Monday. I'm Alan. You've probably made your way here somehow from my lifestyle blog, The Gem. And I'm really excited about this week's vlog video topic and the little behind the scenes tidbits that I have to share with you guys today, because it really shows a lot about how far I have come in this journey, and also a lot of stuff that I think that many people like you are also dealing with, because we're all like pretty stressed out like all of the time. And so for the first time the other day, kind of a cool moment that I had is that I was talking to a friend. We were texting back and forth, and we were kind of just like, she was giving me an update on her life, and then she asked me like how I was doing, and I was like, I sent back like, oh, I'm good, and I like typed out a few things, and then I had this like moment where I was like, holy crap, that's true. Like, I'm actually pretty good. And like, don't get me wrong, like I've had really good moments over the past couple years, but as far as like the point of where I'm at in life right now and starting to become good again is really cool. Because if you know anything about my journey and where I've been and where I've come from, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened. I've a lot of life stuff to overcome, like we all have. But financially, like, life has been really hard the past couple years, and for the first time ever, like, bills have been paid and rent has been paid for the most amount of consistent months that it's ever been. And so some things are really starting to finally fall into place after a couple hard years of not only overcoming different things, but also of soul searching and really figuring out like what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be and what I wanted to create. And so it was cool to be able to answer somebody and actually mean that, like, yeah, I'm good. And this is like one of those friends where like we kind of are just like, we don't hold back. We just kind of share whatever is going on. And I haven't had a moment like that when I could like truly say that, like, you know what, things are like good right now in a really long time. And I'm not saying like every single moment of life has been like completely terrible, but it was like good to feel like that, good to feel like I didn't have a stress that was like looming over me right at that right now at this point in this moment in my life. And all these years when I've literally been trying to get to like just this point, because I know that this point is a step before where I like really want to be, and another step in the right direction to living the life that I want to be able to live. I totally just lost my train of thought. I don't remember where I was going next. I'm like so excited to be able to talk about this with you guys. So yeah, I was able to say it was good. It was honest. It was like a true reaction. Crap. I really, really lost it. Okay. Got it. Back on track. So I really thought that when I got to this point, when I got to this step where like stability was finally in the picture, I thought that there was going to be like this automatic just like relief of stress off my shoulders, and that I was going to feel like 1,000 times better, not just like mentally but like physically. And I thought that this was going to feel different. I really did. And it doesn't. The stress of all of these years that I've kind of been experiencing one thing after another, and some of them some situations I've literally walked myself into, but all of that like stress that's been hanging out in my body and in my thoughts for so long, it's still there. It's like, it is so strange because it's just not what I thought was going to happen. But more often than not, like, I still wake up in the middle of the night like stressing about something, or I wake up with like this pit of anxiety in my belly, or I constantly notice that like my shoulders are up to my ears, or that my breath is short, that like my heart is racing. And I do, like, I struggle with anxiety, so you know, I'm aware that for, you know, that there's going to be some amount of that lingering. But I didn't realize like how hard it was going to be to give myself permission to breathe for once in my life, to give myself permission to like not have to stress every single second of every single day. And it's almost become like instinctual. Like now my body is just like programmed to be like on edge, to be like, okay, what's the next fire that I have to put out? Like I, you know, a couple days ago I caught myself like in my head, it was like, oh my God, like rent's due in a week and a half. Like how am I going to pay it? How am I going to get that money together? Like what do I need to do to like scrape together the funds? And then like after like a few moments of that like heightened stress, then the rational part of me kicked in and was like, okay, well you have this paycheck coming through, and then this pay is gonna hit your direct deposit, and like you've got this. It's gonna be okay. And like it was just a crazy feeling, like that I still feel all of that inside of me. And the thing is that it's just as hard now to give myself that permission to relax and let it go as it was right in the very pit of that stress. And so what I wish that I would have known, which is why I'm sharing this with you, is I wish that in those moments I would have known that, like, because I would give myself excuses like, oh, I'm just like, I'm too stressed right now to like be able to choose happiness, or I've got too much going on to be able to like release the overwhelm. Or like when I just get to like one step further than this, then things are gonna calm down and I'm gonna be able to calm down. That's BS, at least for me, that's not what's going on right now. And so literally the things that I would need to do to de-stress now are the same things that I needed to be doing at the time. Because it's literally just as hard. It's just as hard to tell myself to settle, to let those thoughts of stress and anxiousness and overwhelm go. And so no matter like what you're feeling stressed about right now, or how many different situations you've got that are stressful, like now is the time to work on not being stressed, because you're going to need it when you get to that next step. Otherwise, that next step is still going to have all of this pent up stress and anxiety coming along with it. And for so very long, I thought that getting rid of that stress looked like, you know, going to yoga, or like carving out like 2 or 3 hours for self-development, or starting like a meditation practice, or like whatever it is, no matter what, like whatever your stress release techniques are. And all of that stuff helps. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I teach yoga. Like, I really believe in the power of what the practice has to do for us. And I believe in meditation, and I believe in self-development and all of that. But at the end of the day, and in that very moment, what it literally comes down to is me, in my head, giving myself permission to relax, giving myself permission to enjoy the moment. Literally what I do is I take a really deep breath in, and like everything that I feel, all of the different stress responses, so whether it's like, you know, like my forehead crinkling, or like tightness in my neck, or like my heart beating really fast, I literally go through each of those stress responses one by one in my body, and I'm like, okay, relax your forehead, and I let that go, and then I take another deep breath in, and I'm like, okay, release the shoulders, and then I will close my eyes for like 30 seconds and just try to control my heartbeat. And sometimes it doesn't help, sometimes there's just no control of it, but like just trying to take those deep breaths, and putting my feet on the floor, and feeling my feet on the ground, and knowing that I'm okay, and walking myself through that process to get myself from not okay to okay. And that's literally the same thing that I could have been doing then. I was like, I'm going to all these yoga classes, and I'm, you know, talking it out, and I'm doing all these things, and I'm still feeling all of the stress because I was making it a bigger deal than it needed to be. I was looking for all of these new strategies that I needed to implement in my life that were going to help me reduce the stress, when really it was so much simpler than I ever thought. And it just came down to a matter of me giving myself that permission, actually stopping in that moment and saying, okay, let these things go. Or when that thought comes in of, okay, like how am I going to do this? How am I going to get through this? Like just in my head saying stop, and trying to find a different thought pattern. And you know, it doesn't always go that smoothly, but the more that I do it, it gets a little bit easier and easier every single time, and it gets more effective as time goes on. And it's like such a small strategy, such a small tool, such a minute thing. And that's literally what has helped me not live in this constant state of stress every single second of every single day. And I'm realizing now how many moments and how many experiences and how many opportunities that there were for joy throughout these past couple years that I didn't let myself fully experience, that I let the stress take away from me. And yeah, you know, I've learned a lot, and now I'm really glad that I'm on the other side of that. But I hope that you please take this message to heart, because I wish that I would have let myself set the stress to the side and practice that same kind of being in the moment and giving myself permission to experience it without whatever life stress at the time was trying to like compact in on me. And you know, I'm not sitting here like making $1 million, or like I haven't even gotten like super far yet. I'm just like one tiny step further than probably wherever you are right now watching this video. And so this is real. It's something that worked for me, and I'm not saying that it helped me do, you know, all of these incredible, amazing things, but like for the first time doing this and giving myself permission to not live in that state, it's finally starting to get myself to a point where I feel good, where I'm consistently okay and not just okay for little pockets of time. So I hope that in some way that landed with you, and that you can take a piece of that with you, because I know, and I'm not free of stress. don't get me wrong, I still have frequent breakdowns, as you know if you watched my video last week. But little by little I can see it diminishing, and I can see it decreasing, and I can see myself kind of regaining control over my life, and that's what I hope for you. And those little moments are what everything at the gem are all about, and why I do what I do, and why I share with you all of the little moments that I do. Alright, so that's all that I got for this week. Make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss the video for next week. I always get a lot of good feedback about the mental health stuff, so I'm going to try to get some more content up about that. And as always, please let me know what your thoughts were on this video, and if this helps you at all, I'd love to hear it so that I can continue making stuff that helps you. Alright, have a great week, and I'll see you next Monday.